Hello, goddess, and welcome to this week's Thankful to Thrive Thursday. It might very well be the last video I record in my old house, and I am led to record this. The energy, the eagerness, the excitement, the motivation to record these for all of us is very much alive within me. And that is because of the bit of sanctuary space that, as we talked about in Tuesday, what is undoubtedly taking place this week, actually, as these videos are published, that I myself am taking as I'm nesting in my new home for that first week. And so I'm led to record these videos in my original, because it is my original Zen den, you could call this space, where it is my space. It is my favorite room in this house. I painted it, beautiful design, I feel is beautiful. A lot of green. There was originally a lot of green and orange, that sacral chakra healing, and but definitely a lot of green. There's white in there, and yeah. So that's exactly where we are, and I'm so grateful that I am able to do that, that I am in the position to do exactly that, to record this content, these videos, these messages for all of us to receive when it is divinely aligned that we receive them. Because I get the emails too, goddess. Get on my email list so you're guaranteed to receive every one of these weekly messages that are published 3 times a week. I'm so grateful again that I can do that. I'm so grateful that right now this is the smoothest move that I've ever been afforded to make in my life, and it's really quite awesome. It's not quite the vision that I had wanted to be living in at this point. However, it's where I am, and I'm truly grateful that the universe has allowed for it to be as smooth as it has already. And I'm excited for the continuation of that, and again, further expansion into my new space, just like we are all being led right now. And for those who may be new to my channel, my name is Rochelle Richard, and here at Empowerment Experiences, we look for and we find our power all along this, which is each our own self-love empowerment journey. And those of us who are very aware, we already know that a twin flame journey is a self-love empowerment journey on steroids, as I like to say. And that is also why I call it a healing twin flames journey, because that's what we're doing here. We're healing ourselves, and in turn we heal each other and the collective. And again, isn't it amazing to have that, not only that ability and capability, but the awareness that you have the ability and capability to do that. How wonderful is that, to realize the power within you? And as we again continue on further into this unknown space, it's the realization and the realizing of that power within us that we are able to then hone the tools, the mechanisms with which we can better navigate our experience, so that again we are aligned with allowing things to flow smoothly. I literally get to just make carloads over a couple days with my car. I don't have to cram it all into one day and all the stress. And it took almost 3 hours just to get all the utilities was sorted out. It's incredible the amount of energy that it takes just to move even less than 2 miles from where I currently live. That's literally where I'm moving to. Less than 2 miles from where I currently live. Yet, it's still a lot. It's still an unknown. It's still a very unfamiliar space. And so that's what we take with us, or well, what we are being made aware of right now on this Thankful to Thrive Thursday is, again, that what we're bringing with us, we are bringing with us that which is the true of us, the trueness of us. And we step into this unknown, right? The things that we have learned about ourselves that are fuck yeses, we're bringing those. And yes, the things that we've learned that are fuck nos, we're bringing those too. For me, it's no roommates. There will not be anybody who lives with me in this new house. Nobody. I have learned for the final time that no, I require an environment in a particular way to be in my flow space. And it's knowing that I'm allowed to have that. I'm worthy of that. And if that's what I desire and I require, then I get to have that. And that's where we are, Goddess, in this new space as we're expanding into it. It's saying, wait a minute, I might feel uneasy and things might feel unfamiliar, but you know what? I'm fucking worthy of what it is I desire, and I'm ready to receive any and all of this if this is where I am in this unknown. And of course that's where you are. You're stepping into this new space where you're going to receive all this new abundance, all these new things. But you've got to, again, as always, allow for that. Allow for that to be. So with that, yeah, all of a sudden, whatever that message that just came through me in that whole wonderful, because it felt amazing, is now, like vanished. Thankful to thrive, thankful for the abundance that abounds, the abundance of awareness, the abundance of the knowing that you have now within you, the abundance of the awareness of the ability and capability within you to realize that life doesn't have to look exactly like you want it to look in order for it to be fucking awesome. In order for you to create fucking awesome for yourself within that. As you're learning how to, yes, remember, feel your emotions, allow for them to be expressed, and be honing your compass, your feeler, your tuner, as you are learning to navigate this unknown space in the only way that you really can. And it's the way that you're being called. It's time to, again, release that need to make sense of it. And just allow for it to be. Allow for whatever you're guided to speak, do, or buy, or whatever it is that you're led. And it feels amazing. It feels aligned. It's only the ego that needs the splaining. As Ricky would say, Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Nah, we ain't got time for splaining. It's time to just listen to that and follow. Trust that with every step you take, you're stepping into this abundance. That's what this new is. It's this again, this up level, this greater expansion of yourself. I know it felt like for a while like you were being crushed, but think about wine. Think about the wine, how wine is made. The grapes must be crushed. And I don't know about you, Goddess, but that is sure shit how I've been feeling a lot of months. But now it really, truly feels, like the wine is being bottled and about to be popped open and poured in this new space. Once that, as we've been talking this week about getting that balance and you know, bouncing back, once you've adapted a bit and have expanded and opened your arms wide and allowed for this abundance to flow in, allowed for the abundance of this new level that you're in, this new space that you're in, to reveal itself, to flow to you. Oh, and take delight. And this is one of my favorite cards because I love dandelions. They're wishes. Make wishes, goddess. I'm really I was blown away earlier today because there's the almost 5-year-old boy that I babysit. I watch one day every week to help a soul sister out, and I ended up having this beautiful opportunity and blessed gift to have this moment of just immense delight of this co-created experience where a young man had this amazing Sonic the Hedgehog backpack. And that is like one of this little boy's most favorite characters. And I got to talking to this young man, and lo and behold, his name is a name I hadn't heard in nearly 20 years. I had never met anybody else with this name since 20 years ago, and it was a young boy that I was a nanny for. And so we talked for a bit. Well, when I was looking at it today, as it's hanging out in plain sight, because remember, I'm about to move, things are a little chaotic, and his birthday is literally a week, just over maybe 10 days away, 11 days maybe. And so it needs to be out there for when I see him next for his birthday. And it hit me from a space today of the young man who gave it to me in his name, and of course the little boy that I had been the nanny, and the special bond that he and I had, because he was the middle child, and bless his heart, he couldn't seem to do anything right, and he just wasn't getting the attention that he did require in order for him to hit his mile markers as he was needing to. He was very behind, especially in his verbal, his communication skills. And we worked on that. And of course, he ended up having a tantrum a lot because he was so frustrated and flustered with it being unable to express himself. Anyway, that boy's, the name came up to me, and randomly I clicked on someone that I follow. I'm not even sure why I follow the person. Maybe because obviously I do follow back when you follow me. And especially when it's a genuine follow, not a follow for a marketing thing. And I randomly clicked on this follower's account. Next thing I know, I scrolled and there was a picture that spoke to me, and I scrolled up, and lo and behold, it was her son who had just turned 18, and his name was the exact same name as the young man who gave the backpack and the little boy from so long ago. And it just really, wow, Goddess, we are that powerful. When there is zero resistance, when we are just in that space of allowing the flow, of allowing things to be, and not speaking against anything, not believing against anything, not contradicting anything, but just allowing it to be what it is, and to be in this energy of abundance. Therefore, you already have it. Boom, there it is. Because like I said, what? All of a sudden, boom, so random that tap, scroll, and poof, there it is again. This name that I'd hardly heard for literally nearly 2 decades. Because you see, Goddess, when we are feeling good, when we are not in resistance to our experience, or therefore any facet of our experience, then we can allow for anything and everything to flow in almost immediately into our experience. And this is why it's so important to be honing how you feel, right? To be, again, allowing the emotions to process, and to not allow, like I've mentioned, this is coming up lately, the goddesses in my goddess tribe on Telegram. And this is coming up again about the reference to the rabbit story that I tell. It's the yin and the yang, the dark and the light is the reference here. And so the generic rabbit, there's an abundance, right? Your typical short-haired, you would probably consider like the, the typical brown-haired bunny rabbits, the wild rabbits that are just, en masse. And, my reference though is that they're all white. They're all, generic, white, plain abundance of these rabbits. And those represent lessons. Those are all the countless lessons. And see, because there's so many of them, there's an infinite number of them, that every time one comes around, you're going to have another chance to learn that lesson, another opportunity to learn, because you're going to have that. You're going to have to learn things from infinite perspectives of them, so you can fully integrate what you're needing to learn from those experiences. All right. And so what happens though, because this is the kicker, this is what you really got to watch out for. So that, again, it's learning to detach, right? To not hold on to the past, right? Of, oh my God, I missed that lesson. I fucked up. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. Right? You're holding on to something that's already gone. And what's happening is, not only are you missing these other opportunities for learning these lessons, or this lesson, or these lessons, or the result of this experience here is that here's the exotic rabbit, the rare breed. That's the dark side, the shadow self, right? That's the self that is all done up, and it's the rare, the long hair. It's so irresistibly cute. Like, oh, it's so cute. The temptation is real. It's real, and that's how the ego works, right? That's how shadows work. I just caught 1717 on the ticker there. That's how shadows work, right? They tempt you. They lure you into their abyss of self-sabotage, of self-destruction. And that's what this precious, dainty, adorable, adorably, overdosingly cute little rabbit, it's rare. So there's just the one. There's not like all these other little short-haired generic rabbits walking around again, up in abundance. It's this guy here, but that's the one that we end up going toward, right? Because we've been holding on to these others. We don't recognize, we don't see all this abundance of all these other rabbits, right? The abundance of opportunities. Abundance of opportunities. That means abundance of opportunities to learn, grow, expand, and ascend. Hello. Instead, we get hung up and we start feeling bad and oh my goodness, we don't really see the beauty. We don't see the abundance. And here comes this little adorable one of a kind, all hugging up on you, loving up on you, and says, ooh, come into my little rabbit hole here. I'll make it all better. It's like Depressionville and all those spaces and places, and what ends up happening is you go down into that rabbit hole, and ooh, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. That rabbit is not cute and sweet. That rabbit is mean and nasty. Meanest and nastiest of them all. And it will beat the living tar out of you for all the things, all the mistakes that you've done wrong, and keep you living in the past. But rather, you get to choose to not fall for the temptation of the ego and falling into that trap of self-sabotage, that trap of self-deprecating behaviors where you're beating up on yourself, you're talking down on yourself, and you're looking at how things are not working out. Instead, you're realizing that, holy shit, I'm in charge of this. And I'm definitely in charge of this, which is me. And since I am my point of attraction, well, whatever I emit is exactly what I get. I'm going to be very mindful about what I'm emitting, because I want to make sure of what I'm getting. So since whatever you emit is exactly what you get. Will emit the vibration of abundance, counting your blessings. Right? And remember, we were talking about this anger lately, huh? Be grateful for the anger. Be grateful for it, because here's the reality of anger, goddess. When you really allow yourself to see, you allow the voice to be heard that has had to resort to shouting and yelling and not really truly fully expressing what she wants to say because she's just not been heard. Anger is grief that had nowhere else to go. The frustration, feeling unheard, unloved, unnoticed. Anger is a blessing. Anger is something that keeps you safe. Anger can be something and is something that keeps your blessings safe. Anger is the thing that allows you to assert your boundaries with those who just don't quite get the message, if that's necessary. Anger can be very, very healthy. And right now, as there may be moments of anger, especially towards your counterpart, and of course then towards yourself about things with your counterpart or things with other areas of your life, you get to choose. You get to choose to allow the anger to be a positive. To say, ooh, you know what? I'm not going to allow that anymore. I'm going to change. I'm going to make the changes that need to be made so that I can create the results that I desire to be created. Amazing gift of anger. Oof. Oof. Anger also moves you to action, right? The action to change. The action to recognize for yourself that as you're stepping into and expanding into this new space, that you're going to have to be willing to assert yourself in ways that you may not have before. You have to be willing to protect your energy. You have to be willing to take what necessary action is necessary for protecting your energetic space of abundance, of joy, of blessings, because you manifested them. That's again something I've had to learn for myself. I have manifested what I have manifested for myself because that is my point of attraction. And I am not under any obligation to share. It's literally the concept of saying that because, you know, you worked hard all your life and now you're a multimillionaire, you need to share that money with all the people who are not willing to work and to become a millionaire, right? It doesn't work that way. We, each and every one of us, manifest each our own realities. And while yes, we manifest each other in co-created experiences, the reality in which each of us lives individually, consistently, or it may not be a consistent kind of experience, but it may be consistent in inconsistency, which, you know, some say that that's, you know, doesn't make sense, but yet it does. It's consistently inconsistent. You know, it's always inconsistent, right? I got up in that was fun. It's, again, yes, being willing to take the action necessary to ensure that your cup is filled, that you honor your manifestations, that you honor your vision, that you honor your knowing. Because only you're going to do this, Goddess. Everybody else needs to and must and most likely do have each their own best interests at heart. That is what we need to do. And then we can co-create together to fill in the gaps for each other, of course, to expand what works for all of us and to, again, yes, fill in the gaps for where things are a little, well, sharing in the abundance in that space. When the cup is overflowing, and that's what self-love truly is, Goddess, is to fill your cup so full that it overflows into those around you, meaning you are taking full and complete responsibility for yourself, for what you need, for what you're manifesting, for what your vision is, for what you feel, for what you think, for what you believe, for what you create, for what you receive, for what you appreciate, for what you emit. Because that, again, is what you get. And you take whatever action is necessary to clean up that vibration for yourself. That's me kicking my chair, and yeah, no. That was like a whole stack of... And perhaps, is there any last words from the unicorns here? And that is, well, right there. To just be gentle with yourself. Goddess, remember the little black rabbit, not so much the black, but the dark rabbit, right? That represents the shadow self, the ego self. Don't let it drag you down into its hole. And this will support you in staying above ground, so to speak, staying in that light space. Make the shadow come to you, right? Say, no. If we're going to talk, we're going to talk above ground. The view is so much better up here, right? I see things a little differently now, and I know it's not required for me to actually crawl down into my shadow space, but rather allow for it to rise, to come to me, and then allow for it to process through, just like we were talking this week about allowing for your emotions to process, allowing for them to be expressed while you're paying attention to how they feel. Same with the anger. When you can learn to embrace anger as a healthy tool for you to create the reality that you desire to be experiencing, well, there you go. It no longer has power over you. You have power over it. And with that, obviously, again, we know being gentle with ourselves at this time, and really focusing on being intentional about speaking, yes, words of love. That is exactly what this card is saying, is that, again, being able to say that I honor my anger, I appreciate my anger, I am so grateful that it has been there to keep me safe, even though for so long I did not understand this. I could not see this. I did not recognize even the correlation between anger and abundance, anger and, my blessings. Because I've got to be the one to protect them for myself, just as I've got to be the one to be responsible for myself. So must I be responsible for that which I am manifesting, that which I am receiving, that which I am creating, to fully own all that you are and all that is your experience. And with that, how are we being asked to work through this shadow space at this time, to, as the deck says, work your light? How are we working our light and, you know, polishing that lighthouse so that we can shine a little bit brighter in this world? That is, ooh, that went way over there. Well, you're already doing it. So whatever it is, keep doing it. Because you are already doing it. This is why things are going so smoothly. Don't overthink it. That's what the little dark rabbit, that's what the shadow rabbit is all about. Is it wants you to keep overthinking and overthinking and overthinking and overthinking, think. No, this doesn't happen when you're just overthinking. We stay stuck, right? And then this becomes unhealthy very quickly, and it owns us, right? It is in control of us rather than we being in control of it. And that's why, again, when you can come to honor the anger and recognize that there is healthy anger, and it is important that you embrace and love and honor that healthy anger. That is very much this gentleness, being gentle with your anger, being gentle with yourself the times that you've been angry, even when you are beating your own self up. That is that part of you that thinks it's protecting you by beating yourself up, because it thinks you messed up, and that by beating yourself up, it's gonna fix it. It's gonna make it so that you don't hurt yourself anymore. But what it's really doing is it's hurting you. All right, so start to recognize that it thinks it's helping you without realizing that it's actually hurting you. Wow. So yeah, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Alrighty, and that's exactly what I was feeling, was that, yes, we are ready to dive right in. There was a lot that came through for the Divine Masculine messages this Twin Flame Tuesday. We had quite a few cards, and very much that just the collective Divine Masculine energies, that which is the collective, and of course therefore within ourselves, as we're healing that wounded masculine collectively, all of us, because we carry that within ourselves, right? And you know, especially for so many of us Divine Feminines, our Divine Masculines are very much in this wounded masculine space, just because of the transmutation that is underway, as we learned with the Twin Flame Tuesday message that we had this week. And so with that, what would the Divine Masculine collective energy like to share with with the Divine Feminine? And right there, we had transmutation in Tuesday, transformation. You know, that's where we are. That's what this is, to be stepping into this new space. That's what's been happening. And that's what it is, this transmutation and transformation. They really, honestly, go hand in hand. Because a transmutation is a transformation. Something's being transformed from one state to another. And that's what it is to step into a new space, is you are changing from one version of yourself to another. You're changing from one state of being, from who you've been to who you are now. So you've gone through this transformation, and the Divine Masculine is very much recognizing the transformation and transmutation of the wounded masculine template that, that is so prevalent on this planet. And I'm led to pull these. Growth, boom, growth. Very much. That's the transformation, just as with the divine feminine, right? We are in the midst of this, and we're going to be in this, because here's the deal, goddess. This, while albeit temporary, human experience is a perpetual going and growing journey. So you are always going to be experiencing growth, and so is everybody else, all of us. Because here's the thing, you really want to be growing, because otherwise, if you're not growing, technically you're decaying, right? If you're not moving forward, are you really standing still? And that's in the sense of when we fall into the space of procrastination, right? We allow our anger to consume us, right? That's when it becomes unhealthy. And again, we stay stuck in this old space and we don't grow. We don't grow. So you've got to allow for that growth to happen. You've got to allow for the growth to happen within your divine masculine. And I say divine masculine knowing that so many are in that wounded masculine space because of that, the healing, the transmutation of that template right now. And so right now, you, dear goddess, are being looked upon as the leader here. You already know this though, because you've been intentionally doing the work. You accepted what this connection was. You might not like it a lot of the times. It might be excruciating and really quite unpleasant, and by George, definitely cause you to anger at times, right? I get it. However, you embraced it. You said, okay, I recognize that I can either resist, which will just make all of this suffering and pain persist, or I can actually turn and allow for the unfolding of this journey now, and actually allow for myself to step into the unfolding of this journey. All right, I'm led to flip this change, right? The transmutation, transformation. That's what's happening right now for all involved. We're changing the templates, and that means change has to happen within us, within the collective. That card really speaks for itself. And look, upside down, because the energy is all over the place, right? This is why the divine feminine is really being asked to be honing, so she can be intentionally harnessing her energy, so that she can channel it, funnel it, point it in a particular direction, fully aligned with that which she desires to experience. And that means, again, to not to have resistance. And I'm not going to say any resistance, because there may be some. However, my experience with seeing this name was such that, wow, but there was no resistance to it. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I hope I never, I don't know if I ever will, or there was no attachment to it. It just happened. As I was in a space of remembering this little boy and the connection, because of the name of the young man who gifted this special gift, this backpack to give to him. It was just because of the story, the exchange, and what this young boy that I watch has been through already in his short little life with regard to the extremely wounded masculine that was in his life for the beginning of his life. Right? So this is where the divine feminines is leading the way in learning to and actually practicing harnessing the energy within her, learning and honing the ability to attract what you desire, to be intentional about what you are emitting, so you are intentional about what you are getting, right? And this number 17 is definitely jumping out at me as we're here. So let's have a look-see again at that. That's been a common number, right? You're on the right path for your life, being gratitude. Number for happiness, we just had the happiness card in Tuesday. And so being that, again, this card is upside down, right? We're being made aware of where the lack, see, look at the mirror here. We're being made aware of where this lack is, right? And it's with regards to, you know, really truly trusting, right? See, because you're needing to be reminded that you're already doing it, right? To be trusting that you are on the right path for your life, to not be getting angry that you're not in the right place, even though things don't look like you think they should. Should is shit. Should is what the ego says, oh my God, I need to control everything. And since it's not exactly how I want it to be, I'm going to make my own life miserable instead of appreciating, taking delight in the blessings that abound. Right? So practicing that gratitude, right? It's Thankful to Thrive Thursday. Looky there, angel number 17, be in gratitude. Practicing that gratitude. Closing timelines of hardships and frustrations. Look at that anger card, again, with a correlation to learning to honor and embrace healthy anger, being able to close the timeline on the belief that anger is so bad, instead to honor all the emotions. Align yourself with your inner knowing, wisdom, and intuition. And we have been having that, aligning your life, right? Align with this transformation. That's where we are, this transformation. Oh, yes. So angel number 17 we have. And I have to say, number 44, when I flipped that card, I did not say, but it whispered, things are moving in the right direction. Looky there. You are not alone. Support and stability. Continue on your current path. You're already doing it. Oh my goodness. Literally, it says you're already doing it. Look at that card. You're already doing it. So 17 and 44 may make themselves known a bit more to remind you that yes, you're already doing it, that, you know, be grateful for where you are, how far you've come, you know, acknowledge for yourself what you have accomplished. You know, you don't need to be angry. You can choose to say, hey, it's all good, because you know what, I might have missed that lesson. I might have, you know, said yes when I didn't listen to my intuition to say no, right? That sort of thing. So instead of beating yourself up and falling into, again, this abyss, this trap, right, of the unhealthy anger, the shadow self, that you instead, you stay above ground with all this abundant opportunity, and you acknowledge for yourself that it's all good, that I'll have another chance I'll get definitely another opportunity with that lesson, because that's just how this journey works, right? It's a perpetual going and growing journey. And with that, dear goddess, that wraps us up for today's Thankful to Thrive Thursday. I appreciate you so much. I am so truly grateful for all of you who do receive my messages every week, who open the emails, who comment on my videos, who are, of course, subscribed to my channel and hit like on that video. That's always awesome. This video, all videos, there's going to be more coming, especially, as I said, once I've gotten settled and nested, shall we say, into my new place during this coming week. Well, it's coming week for me, but during this week as this video is published. And yeah, definitely embracing the transformation where we are, where we all are, Goddess, and expanding into the abundance of this new space, taking delight in the blessings of where you are, regardless of how much it does not look like you would have liked it to look by this time. All right? As I am always here to do, I remind you that the power is in your hands, Goddess. I assure you. Because that power, it has always been inside you. Namaste.